Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Darnell Washington is making a complete body transformation, losing nearly 15 pounds this offseason. So, Darnell Washington is looking to become more mobile and be more involved in the passing game. And he has done so this offseason by completely transforming his body into what he was in college. And he's doing that by losing some weight. But first, before I get more into it, however, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, Darnell Washington is a player this offseason who will have to step up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's looking for an increased role now that Aaron Rodgers is on the team. And it has been reported by 93.7 The Fan that Darnell Washington said that he dropped 10 to 15 pounds this offseason in an event to get more quicker, more elusive, and more mobile to be more involved in the pass catching game. And Mason Rudolph also said that Darnell Washington so far in camp looks like a different player than he last saw him when he was on the team. So, last season, if you guys remember, tight end coach Alfredo Roberts let it slip that Darnell Washington's weight exceeded 300 pounds this past year, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Because Darnell Washington at the NFL Combine, when he came into this league, was at 264 pounds. So that means that he gained nearly 40 pounds during his first 2 seasons in the NFL. And he resembled an offensive tackle more than he actually did a tight end. So while we don't have an exact number, it's unlikely Washington topped 315 pounds. If he's dropped 10 to 15 pounds, let's say, that likely puts him back somewhere around the high 290s. That's still a massive human being, especially because he's 6'7", but it's obviously noticeably lighter than Washington was in the past years. So Washington is obviously trying to get more agile moving into this season, and that's a body transformation. So when you think about Washington's contributions to this team, his first few years, he was barely used in the pass catching game. Don't get me wrong, when he was throwing the football, he was reliable, making secure catches with good hands and good agility to get down the field. But he was barely used in that game. He was used as the run blocker, as basically the extra offensive lineman on the field without actually putting an offensive lineman on the field. That's what his body type was, and that's what he was used as. So Washington weighed in at that weight because he needed to be able to block people at a high level and do it strictly just blocking. He knew he probably wasn't going to get the snaps at tight end where he was going to be available in the pass catching game, so he needed upon that weight to be able to block. But now he's losing that weight because he knows with Aaron Rodgers and this Arthur Smith offense and what they want to do, they want to use the middle of the field. They want to go to more high package tight ends, 2 tight end, 3 tight end looks, and that means he's going to be more available in the pass catching game and he's going to be able to run more routes. So he's losing all this weight to try to become better. And Washington, he showed off some athleticism with his stiff arm and hurdle last season, but at 10 to 15 pounds less, he'll be able to do it at more high level. So when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of Darnell Washington, he says he's still not where he wants to be despite his weight loss. He said this: "I feel like I'm not where I want to be, but slowly but surely I feel like I will towards camp. I'm gonna just keep building upon staying consistent to my schedule." So we don't know if Washington is done with this body transformation or if he plans on losing more weight, but he says he's not where he wants to be just yet. And when you think about this, it is probably a better thing that he goes back to what he was in college in terms of his weight and everything like that, because he was an absolute monster, both in the run game and the passing game, at the college weight and size that he was at. When he was in college, he was a player who led all tight ends in yards after catch, in yak yards. So that means that he was able to be agile, he was able to get down the field and do it at a high level at his size of 6'7", And that's usually hard for tight ends of that nature to be able to be yards after catch type players. But that's what Darnell Washington was in college. So if he gets back to what he was in terms of his size, athleticism, weight, everything like that he was coming into the NFL, it might be a better thing for the Steelers team, and we might be able to see his fullest potential. Because you're never going to see someone's fullest potential if all they're doing is blocking, all they're doing is being used as the run blocker. No, you're not going to see their full potential in that. But once they're given more opportunities in the pass catching game, like he was given in college, that's where he could be able to succeed and be given his full potential in this league. He can be a really good tight end. The Pittsburgh Steelers obviously saw him and drafted him in the 3rd round for a reason. There were some big medical concerns on him about his knee, and the Steelers still took the chance on him. He dropped to the 3rd round for a reason. He was a good enough player to go in the 2nd round or high 3rd round, but no, he was dropping in the draft, and probably would have dropped completely even further if the Steelers didn't select him. So obviously that meant the Steelers saw something in him, and even if he did have some medical concerns about his long-term durability and even short-term durability because of his knees and size or everything like that, the Steelers still felt as though he was a good enough player to take the chance on him and see if he can become what they expect him to become and prolong his career and kind of work with him there. And you don't want to waste a guy's career just as a run blocking person in the 3rd round, especially the tight end position. If he was an offense tackle, sure, but he's not. He's a tight end who is highly productive in college in pass catching, yards, tight ends, and he could be an absolute monster for this team in the middle of the field, red zone, and just down the field in general, because he's going to be a mismatch to any player that he goes up against on the defense side of the ball, just based off his height and size alone. So if he is able to become more agile, more mobile, and be able to get open and work on his route running and be able to outrun players, that could really help this team. And that's something he's working on, and hopefully it's actually translates to this year, because he should be given more opportunity. Just recently, Aaron Rodgers gave him probably the highest praise he could give a player on this team. He said that Darnell Washington reminds him of one of his all-time great teammates in Mercedes Lewis. And we all know that Aaron Rodgers loves Mercedes Lewis on his team. And he's a player that does it all for whatever team he was on. Whether it was the Green Bay Packers or the New York Jets, Mercedes Lewis was one of the players that Aaron Rodgers wanted on his team because of how good he was. So he compared Darnell Washington to Mercedes Lewis, saying this: "I told Darnell today, I haven't had a tight end like him since Mercedes. Mercedes, all-time great. Darnell is like a young Mercedes, able to do things in the passing game, dominate the line of scrimmage." End quote. So, that's some high praise from a quarterback who just got on your team. And if that tells anything, that means that he believes in him and he's willing to give him the opportunity to compete, to throw and catch the football, because you wouldn't just compare someone to a great player you've had on your team for a long time if you didn't plan on using him this upcoming season. So when I say he's going to be given more opportunity, it's because Aaron Rodgers already compared him to Mercedes Lewis, and we all know he loved targeting Mercedes Lewis. Doesn't matter what Mercedes Lewis' age was, he loved targeting him in the red zone and in short yardage situations. So Darnell Washington should be ready for a huge play increase when Aaron Rodgers sees that he has a mismatch. Aaron Rodgers is really good and great at seeing and deceiving defensive players and creating the mismatches, noticing the mismatches, and then getting the player the football. And that's something he's going to be able to see in Darnell Washington all the time this upcoming season. So, with that being said, that's the end of this video. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Darnell Washington going back and losing some weight to become more mobile. Around 10 to 15 pounds thus far, and he's not done yet. How do you feel about this complete body transformation? Do you like it? Do you like that he's getting more nimble in terms of being quicker on his feet to be more available in the pass catching game, but still being a huge blocking tight end as well? Or did you want him to stay at his 300 plus pounds and just be a strictly blocking tight end? Leave your thoughts in the comments below about this situation with Darnell Washington. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports. Everything surrounding this team I've covered, and I'll continue covering it as we head further in the offseason and camp here shortly. So stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe, turn notifications for the channel, and like the video. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. That's it for me. I'm out. Peace.